Target, one of America's biggest and most beloved retailers, known for its large and airy stores, a wide selection of products at affordable prices, and some of the most exciting partnerships in retail. Its loyalty program boasts 100 million members. The retailer sold a total of $106.6 billion of goods in 2024.
That's really something that Target has built, this idea of a joyful, fun shopping experience that's colorful and will introduce you to items you didn't even know that you wanted or needed.
Yet as of late, the discount department store has lost market share. And while its customers are spending about the same per quarter, Walmart and Costco's customers are spending even more. Between April 2024 and April 2025, Target lost nearly half of its share price.
It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, you could obviously see kind of right around here where it really dropped. This is January, right? But right around here it dropped. And I think mostly it's because of the whole boycott, because they removed themselves from the DEI, the diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I think that really, really hurt them. Whether you're for DEI or not, obviously, I think this is the main reason why Target really fell off here. It's unfortunate because I remember even, especially during COVID and even before 2024, I mean, Target was pretty up there. It was pretty much like a cult following. Target really had kind of like an organic marketing without having to really do anything. People were going to social media, just posting about them all the time. And I think that really fell off. And you can obviously see right here in January, it really fell off here as well.
Hard to get on top as a favorite retailer, but it's even harder to stay on top, especially in a digital age where customers' attention spans are shorter.
Target was once the poster child for retail. It's not a company that's completely lost its way, but it is a company that's lost its mojo.
Competition is fierce, but experts say a lot of Target's issues are self-inflicted, like understaffing and excess inventory, and what some have called an identity crisis.
In general, I think there's confusion about who Target is and what it stands for at this point. The company needs to get back to some of that original feeling that it gave shoppers, but that can be a hard thing to do.
So has Target lost its Target magic? And if so, how can it get it back? Target, like most retailers, is caught in the Trump administration's turmoil around tariffs. While on a 90-day pause, the volatility is damaging consumer confidence. Roughly half of Target's merchandise is sourced internationally. As of April 30th, the Trump administration has imposed 10% universal tariffs on most countries except China, which is set at 145%.
Over the last few years, we've gone from over 60% of our imports coming from China to 30, and we're on a path to get it down to 25. So we've diversified our supply chain to give us more optionality, and I think that'll serve us well as we go forward. We're going to try to make sure we can do everything we can to protect pricing, but if there's a 25% tariff, those prices will go up.
The news about tariffs comes after the retailer reported yet another year of flat revenue. Foot traffic declined for 11 straight weeks between January 27th and April 13th, 2025.
Again, I really think they are going to talk about Target pulling out of DEI, right when they were able to at the beginning of January. I'm not sure exactly when they announced it, but when they were able to, they pulled right out of DEI, and it's right on this time. You can see that the foot traffic has continually dropped.
That period coincided with a 40-day boycott over the company's decision to roll back some of its diversity,
Bam. Called it.
equity, and inclusion initiatives. A wider-scale boycott is brewing. Competitor Costco, which stuck with its DEI goals, saw sales grow nearly 9% in March 2025 from the same month a year prior.
Customers really don't like that confused positioning, and it's kind of trying to take a middle-of-the-road position.
Yeah.
The problem with being in the middle of the road is you end up getting knocked down from both sides.
While shoppers aren't turning away from Target completely, Walmart and Costco's customers are spending more than they did 3 years ago. Target sells more discretionary products than competitors. It helps that Walmart is the nation's largest grocer by revenue. About 60% of its total sales are non-discretionary.
I didn't know
For
that.
Target, that number is about 50%.
When you're a destination for groceries, which is like a weekly, sometimes multi-week, multi-day in a week
That makes
visit,
sense.
you have more opportunity to get the customer to buy something else while they're in the store.
Target has been seen as being, not quite so good value for money over recent years. And people have said, look, let's give Walmart a try, especially for grocery and some essential stuff. And again, once they've tried it, they're not going back.
Meanwhile, Walmart has been taking a few pages out of Target's playbook, updating its apparel, refining private label brands, and adding premium products. It has also attracted a wealthier consumer. Several experts say Target has also struggled to adapt to its new channels, like e-commerce and curbside pickup. Some blame understaffing.
Target has almost become a victim of its own success because it's grown a lot, especially online. A lot of the basics in many stores are being neglected. There are empty shelves because products not being brought out from the stockroom. There are longer lines at the registers because Target doesn't have enough staff to open those registers. And this
Okay, that is so true. Every time my wife and I go to Target, we always have to wait in line. Always. Never fails. Walmart, we don't have to wait in line. Costco, depending on the time that Costco is always going to be crazy. We always go to Costco pretty much early in the morning, or on a Friday during lunchtime when it's maybe less busy. Never step foot in Costco on a Saturday, ever. But that's because it's so popular, right? But they do move the lines pretty quickly. They're over there at Costco. But yeah, with Target, I'm always waiting.
This has really deteriorated the store experience.
Target's problems are much bigger and more complicated. It's dealing with inflation as people are buying less wants and more needs. It's dealing with a complex environment where people are going to competitors like Walmart who are investing heavily in their brand. And so it's hard to know exactly how much is coming from DEI and the backlash related to it, but more than likely it's a mix of all of the above.
Target's financials soared during the pandemic. The retailer remained open, and its core customer, a middle to high income shopper, was on a spending spree with a generous stimulus check. Target stock shot up to an all-time high in November 2021.
Folks, we've got some news just out from Target. It's releasing its holiday sales numbers. These are the sales for November and December for the big box retailer, and they are pretty unbelievable numbers. Their comp sales are up 17.2% for those 2 months.
You can
Wow, 17.2%. So comp sales, if you guys don't understand what that means, it's just comparative sales. So they're most likely comparing it to a certain time period. Most likely is the year before. So comp sales, 17% increase. That is substantial, especially if they're doing, over $100 billion in sales. They were killing it back then. And as you guys can see too, like I said earlier about the whole marketing aspect of it, Target, we always love talking about Target. It's Target, right? It's not Target. But they really lost that magic now. It was really interesting. You guys heard it earlier too when we were talking about Walmart. Walmart does a lot of grocery sales, and people typically go grocery shopping at least once every week. So when you're grocery shopping, you're going to be there hopefully buying other things as well. Whereas Target, their grocery aisle it's pretty lackluster. You gotta have to admit it's pretty small. The variety isn't really there. So I never think about going to Target to get food, ever.
imagine that giant gain put a lot of pressure on the company to keep that growth going. And it became a lot more difficult as its core customer had a lot more expenses to juggle.
The juggling started as inflation shot up to record highs. Retailers got stuck with too much of the wrong inventory. Discounting became Target's only solution, causing its gross margin and profitability to drop significantly in 2022. Its share price tumbled. Target has offered a collection celebrating Pride Month for a decade. But during its second quarter 2023 call, CEO Brian Cornell said that backlash by conservative customers had hurt sales. The company removed some of the collection from stores and slimmed down its offerings online by 2024. But Target's issues haven't stopped at politics. After reporting its biggest earnings miss in 2 years in its third quarter 2024, Target's share price plunged 21%. Walmart had beaten earnings the day before. During the call, Cornell laid some of the blame on increased costs associated with the October port strikes that stretched from New England to Texas. But the strikes only lasted a few days, and data revealed that the company misjudged a softening in consumer spending and over-ordered.
Target has struggled to have the right things at the right times. For example, with inflation, it's seen a pivot to necessities like paper towels and food, and it had too many discretionary items like home goods that people weren't buying at the same levels. And then again, it faced this inventory challenge when the port strike was threatened. The company faced a lot of additional costs because it rushed to have inventory there.
Target has partnered with famous designers for over 25 years. Italian fashion house Missoni or furniture and home goods designer Magnolia are just some examples. But Target is no longer the only one. It also hasn't reacted as quickly to trends and newness, which has proven easier for e-commerce retailers Amazon and TikTok Shop.
It's a consumer that's on a budget. We want to make sure we delight them with great new items, but also the value they're looking for, that affordability, every time they shop. So we'll continue to make sure we lean in and do everything we can to control prices, provide that value, and continue to delight them with newness along the way.
Retail theft and shrink continue to be an issue for Target. In the first half of 2023, the company said it lost nearly $500 million more than in the year prior, causing it to lock.
So for those of you guys who don't know, shrink just means kind of like stolen items or items that are not accounted for. Typically, it is stolen items, but other things could just be items that were damaged, items that they pretty much just lost while it was in store, one way or the other. So looks like they have a huge shrink problem.
Up some of its products. But that has also pushed customers away.
They'll say, okay, I'll try Amazon for that, get it delivered to my door. The problem is once they've tried it once, they tend not to go back.
Some investors and analysts have blamed Target leadership on some of its operational challenges. CEO Brian Cornell is slated to retire at the end of 2025. However, no succession plan has been announced.
There seems to be a sort of timidity in the boardroom around coming out with definitive statements, definitive views, even definitive strategies for Target. I also think there's a lack of honesty from Target management. They used to be pretty open, and over the past couple of years, they've really clammed up. They don't seem to admit to or own issues. They seem to come out with strange statements like customers are thanking them for locking things up.
When have you ever said thank you to a store for locking up everyday items that you buy? This is definitely a leadership issue. I mean, the CEO is stepping down at the end of 2025. I mean, honestly, he would have been fired anyways. I mean, it's just terrible, terrible leadership here. They removed themselves from DEI. They over-ordered on the wrong products. They're continually understaffed. And it seems like they're not even owning up to some of their mistakes.
Target declined CNBC Digital's request for an interview, but said in a statement that Target is a company designed to deliver long-term profitable growth. The 2024 results came with an unexpectedly high level of variability throughout the year, which we aim to continue mitigating moving forward. By controlling what we can control, we are confident we can continue to create value for our stakeholders. While Target is more at risk than competitors like Walmart and Costco because of its larger share of discretionary offerings, experts say it should be cautious about drastic changes.
They don't want to be Walmart. They don't want to be Costco. They want to be Target. And part of Target is that fashion image.
But there are steps it can take to course correct. For one, investing in its stores as well as potentially looking to open more.
If you make the effort to drive to a Target store and you go in and the products aren't in stock, the environment's messy, you're waiting a long time at the register, that's a poor experience. And it makes you say, should I bother going back next time? And if the answer to that is no, Target loses the custom.
Target's latest collaborations with Kate Spade and Warby Parker have seen some success. But analysts say it needs more of what they call newness. The company should also be more strategic about who it partners with. After all, in a constantly evolving retail landscape, everyone is competing for consumers' loyalty and attention.
If you stop opening stores, you shrink. Newness still moves the needle. So even when people are pulling back, if they see that eye-catching color of leggings, they're more likely to buy it.
It does have things in its toolkit that it can pull out to help it scale. But that's going to need a really clear vision and a really compelling point of view from management and real confidence in communicating that to investors and to staff and ultimately to customers. And that's the piece I don't think that's quite there at the moment.
But aside from any of its internal challenges, Target, as well as any other American retailer, has to deal with uncertainty around tariffs.
We'll see how things unfold. I think for anyone in our space today, we're looking for certainty. And Hopefully over the next few weeks we have a better understanding of how things are going to move forward, and we better react accordingly.
It's going to be an uphill battle for Target. They really shot themselves in the foot this past year. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to kind of climb back up to where they were. Can it be done? I don't know. I mean, when they removed themselves from DEI program, did they think that they were going to surge in acquisitions? Did you think that they were actually going to get a bunch of brand new customers because they removed themselves from DEI? No. I mean, they can't think that way. There's no way they thought they were going to get that much more customers because of that. I mean, let's be honest. There are people who only shop at Walmart. There are people who only shop at Target, and there are people who only shop at Costco. I mean, if you're shopping at Walmart and you heard that Target removed themselves from DEI program, are you really going to drop everything you're doing and go to Target instead? No. You're going to continue to go to Walmart because that's where you've always gone. But if you've always gone to Target and they removed themselves from the DEI program, there's a very good chance you're probably just going to walk away from them and go to Walmart or go to Costco. Well, let me know in the comments if you guys still shop at Target and why you still shop at Target. Do you feel that they've lost their luster? Are you one of those people, hey, I don't care. I like that it's not busy anymore and I can just go in and get what I want. I don't know. Me personally, my wife and I go to Costco, and we also go to our own grocery store in town. So we don't go to Target anymore. Well, you made this far. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Deputy Steve. I'll see you guys on the next video.